Morning, everyone. Just set myself up a little better. There we are. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a nice warm drink. Here it's snowing quite a bit. So yeah, let's get right into it. So if you're here, say hi. If you watch after, press replay. You know the drill. I'm just going to go ahead and get going on the things that I'm making for this week. Admittedly, I'm not making a lot because I actually have 3 cooking classes this week. So those will take care of those days' dinners, which is pretty awesome, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So yeah, lots of cookings this week, which is awesome. I do love it. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get crab cakes going in the oven. It was one of our specials at the beginning of our Tinsel Tuesdays. So mine's arrived. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a shot. There are other ways to make it, of course, if you didn't get it, but anyway, so here is the classic crab cakes. Make 6. Preheat oven to 400, which I've done. In a bowl, I'm gonna whisk together an egg and some mayo. There we go. Yet. You know what? I think they lie when they say you can open these mayos so easily. Oh, there we go. All right. How much mayo? Where did my package go? Oh, there it goes. 1 tablespoon. So a tablespoon of mayo. Give or take, and whisk that up. And then it says fold in. It says fold in 2 cans of crab meat. You can use salmon or tuna. I'm just actually using fake crab because that's just what I have. But you can use whatever you like. I'm sure you could actually use like chicken if you wanted to do it that way, or beans. You know, some mushed up beans. That would work, some black beans, that would be pretty yummy. So mix that up, add in the seasoning. So, rice flour, onion, red bell pepper, chives, paprika, sea salt, mustard, black pepper, and cayenne. So that's the seasonings that's in there. See that? Definitely cayenne in there, it's pretty red. Probably should have cut it up, but hey, whatever. It'll smush apart. So yeah, so if you hopped on, say hi. I am totally not seeing anybody's posts or anything, so hopefully you're there. And if you're not there yet, that's cool. All right, we're gonna get a fork and smush it up a bit. All right, so what am I going to talk about today? Oh, so it's like our last week of November. There's lots going on. I'm sure a lot of you out there are entrepreneurs and direct sellers and hustling to get your stuff going. I'm totally doing that here too, of course, with Epicure. And I'm launching my new business as well, which is super awesome. So there we go. That's sufficient. Some chunky, small. And then it's basically, we're just putting it into our muffin pan and then baking it. So that's it. A little too much oil. need 2. I want the 1. Just squish it in there. Top it off with the last little bit. So the reason why I'm making the crab cakes, well, one, because it's our brand, like our holiday special, and I do love crab cakes. But we've also got some oysters sitting in the fridge ready to be eaten, so I figured a little bit of interesting lunch will be some crab cakes with the oysters, and away we go. So that's basically what I've done there. It goes in the oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so that's that one. Over and close that up. Okay, next thing I want to do is get going is the African stew. So I'm actually going to use oxtail today. So I've got some oxtail there ready. I'm just going to get it into the wok, brown it up a little bit, and then start doing the potatoes and getting everything going. Okay, oxtail in the wok. That's that. So let's get some potatoes cut up. Go do some zucchini, 1 tomato. And I'm actually just going to put some collard greens in at the end. So obviously the oxtail is going to take a little while. So it's going to be just potatoes and everything in it and just let it take its time. So do the size of things. I like bite size just to make it easier, because you know when you're pulling it up with your spoon or your fork or whatever, you're where you go. But if you switch it up a little bit, like today I did with oxtail, you could totally do bigger size if you wanted. We have some people in the group who've done it with black beans, and it's been super awesome. So that would be my next one I'm going to do, is with some black beans, or well, any kind of beans, right? Pinto beans. So that's my plan. But we have some oxtail in the freezer that we needed to use up, so that is what I'm going to do instead. So as I was trying to say, it's, you know, that time of the month or year or whatever, people kind of grab all their goodies that they need for December, for holidays, whether you celebrate or not. You still kind of end up doing it, right? Because you know, we're home, other family members do it, whatever the situation is. So if you want to get yourself prepared, set yourself up with some awesome baking, get some food in, and if you got anybody in your family that you know loves to cook, you know where to come to, right? Got lots of things for consumable gifts for people. That's why you don't feel like you're just giving them things, but you're giving them something they'll use or they'll eat. Zucchini, potatoes, all chopped up. I am doing the African stew. So we get the meat going. I've got sweet, I'm not using sweet potato, I'm just using regular potato. And then not using ground turkey, so I'm using the oxtail. Yeah, that's what I want to say. It's supposed to be a can of diced tomatoes, a can of like coconut milk, 1 can of water or broth. And then in the end, you obviously put your peanut butter in. So what I'm going to do is switch it up a little bit. I've got tomato sauce. I'm going to use a bit of vegetable broth. Oh, sacred, don't spill it. Vegetable broth, which is back. So 1 cup of the water. Right, lid. Mix that up, that's ready to go, and then tomato when I'm ready to go. All right, so let's go ahead and get this stuff going. So coconut milk. My husband wants some to do some tropical drinks, so we'll give him some. And the seasonings, which if you've had it yet, it's so good. I'm just making a mess, but that's all right. Let that go for a few minutes, and then I will add in the vegetables. And tomato, which we'll do that in a minute. All right, so next thing I was actually going to do is make some oatmeal cookies. I know you probably, I did them like 2 weeks ago, but they've gone through them already, so I'm going to make some more. So the one I like using, it's called our chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. I'm going to put raisins in that, and I do change up the recipe a little bit. I have a bit of butter. I'm not going to use a 1/2 cup of white sugar and brown sugar like it says. I'm actually going to use the sugar that's in our sweet dip. So I have the baked apple, which is Vic's favorite. So I'm going to use what was left in there, which is probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Doesn't need a lot more because of everything else. I'm putting in the chocolate chips and the raisins. It doesn't need a lot of sugar. So that's kind of all I'm going to do. It obviously egg, but if you're not into eggs, you could use, you know, banana, applesauce. And go ahead and mix that up. And that's where you get your little whisker out, or your big whisker. I should have pulled out my big one. Yeah, I'm just mixing up, creaming up the egg with the, and this is why I should have grabbed my big one. Don't recommend this. But that's all right, we'll get it out. Anyway. I like forks. I'm so not a whisker person. Anyway, so this week there's lots going on. There's lots of events. Happy Healthy Women has one. The mob group is putting in a holiday guide, which is pretty cool. Hub Inc. All right, there we go. All out. Go back to what I did like using. And I can just squish it. All right, there we go. Hey, I'm not using the vanilla because I'm actually going to use some protein powder, but it's 1.25 cups of flour. I am just using our gluten-free pancake and waffle one, but you could obviously use whatever flour you like. And as I said, this is how I snuck in a little protein in that last time, was using our powered up chocolate protein. And then obviously, yeah, I do use a little bit of almond milk just to get some liquid going in there. And then I'm going to put in the chocolate chips and the oats and the raisins. So depending on how much protein you actually would remove the flour from it so that you don't have too much dry goods. Okay, so now we need the raisins and the oats. So 1/2 cup of raisins, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, whether you like semi-sweet or milk chocolate. And then 1/2 cup of oats, or give or take. Okay, stop in here. Chicken on the stew. Okay, all right. Adding my potatoes. Not going to try not to put the zucchini in yet. I'll put that in a little bit later. Be a quick look. So there's oxtail, the stew, potatoes, all in there. Turn down the heat a little. Let that go. Yep, crab cakes are looking good. And oatmeal cookies are looking good. Okay. So, let's get that out of the way. Close this up so I don't make a mess. Raisins. All right. So this is where I like our 3-in-1 spatula spoon, because then it does again the whole sizing. You could always do smaller or bigger. You could use an ice cream scoop. And then once the crab cake comes out, I can put these guys in. And away we go with some oatmeal cookies. This time I might actually have to freeze some because I feel like he might eat them all again super quick. It's a good way to get some extra protein and stuff into your snacks, is making your own, right? Making your own cookies, making your own granola bars. And then you can actually, pick and choose what you put in as well. Anyway, so depending on what you're doing this week, my recommendation is just to, you know, spend a few minutes looking at your week, seeing how busy you are, seeing what's going on, groceries, what you got in the house. You know, you've heard me talk about shop from home first, see what you got. I know we're going into lockdown here in Toronto and that come Monday, but we're pretty stocked up ourselves now for a few weeks, and the grocery stores are still open, so it's not like that's stopping. It's just probably, you know, just one person going grocery shopping, which is okay for us. So, and of course, you can still probably do the grocery deliveries if you guys are doing that. Anyway, so shop at home, see what you got, see what you can adapt recipes for. If you need help with adapting recipes, you know, feel free to message me. We can work around some diet restrictions you might have, or maybe it's just what you've got in the fridge or freezer and you want to use it up. Okay, it sounds like crab cakes are done. And I literally got a couple of cookies left. So I'm just going to squish them in here. He's a bit small. Give him some effort. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. Oatmeal. Oatmeal, raisin, chocolate chip, chocolate protein powder. Use baked apple sweet dip instead for sugar, and they're ready to go. Which means I can't do that yet. I need to get crab cakes up first. Okay, gonna be a little noisy. 1 second. Put the cookies in. So there we go. Crab cakes, all done. The recipe says you evenly put them in 6 portions, press lightly in a mold, and then bake and then let cool, and then I can pop them out. So obviously they need to cool before I can do that. So I'm just going to put it on our rack over here. Get this out of the way for a moment. And there you go. So crab cakes done. The African stew is going to take a while, but that's okay because I want to slow cook the oxtail. So actually get this, to make this simple, I won't need to put this in until pretty close to the end, so I'm just going to have them set aside in a bowl with the collard greens. I'm actually going to skip the tomato because it's very tomatoey already, and then those are ready to go. Okay, so next is actually going to make something for myself. It's the, it's my favorite Bliss balls, and I'm actually going to do them with our vanilla protein. So you just get 12 dates. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Pop out the seeds if you're getting the ones with the seeds. If you're not, then super easier. 12 dates. It's about 2 scoops of our protein powder, or whatever protein powder you like. It's a half a cup of nut butter, seed butter, or whatever you like. I'm actually going to use tahini. You can use whatever you like. It's a half a cup of hemp hearts, but if you don't have hemp hearts, I just use a 1/4 cup of the steel cut oats that I like. But it's again up to you. And then, as I said, the 2 scoops, and then about 4 tablespoons of some form of water or milk or almond milk or oat milk or something. And that's that. And we just throw it into the blender. Oops. Okay. And away we go. So there's the 12 dates into my food processor. A little bit of oats. And then I'm going to use our vanilla one, protein powder, but you can totally use the chocolate one if you'd like. 2 scoops. Mostly I'm using the vanilla just because I made them last week or a week before, and they were very much like having cookie dough. So it was like, I'm good with that one. And then I said a half a cup, right? So a half a cup of tahini. And then I got some almond milk set aside, ready to go once it's ready. Okay, loud, I know, but here we go. I'm just going to use Tutti Fruity and our Cocoa Crunch. If you want, you could do it with the super greens. Roll it up in super greens, roll it up in hot chocolate or cocoa powder, whatever you like. Almost done, just needs a little bit more. Okay, so there we go. Might have made it. Oh, no, it's all right. So there we go. So all thingied up, and then I'm going to toss it into a flavor. So I'm going Tutti Fruity. There's one. Obviously, have these in the fridge or the freezer to set up because they're, of course, quite smushy right now. But if I use my lovely little prep bowls, I can just bounce them around and away I go. And I know I don't have kids, but personally I think this would be fun with your kids. Get them to pick the flavoring that they want to roll their balls in. Great idea for, like, you know, the holidays as gifts, maybe, if you're making somebody something around on your street, or dropping by to visit somebody, even though we're probably doing it by physical distancing, but you can still make them a fun little gift. And so the cookie dough part is obviously putting it in the Cocoa Crunch. But as I said, you could use many different things. You could just do shredded coconut or some rolled nuts, or some crushed nuts, sorry. Roll it in crushed nuts is what I wanted to say. I'm being extremely uneven today, but you know what? As I said, these are for me, so I'm less concerned about them looking pretty. Can you see them? Not very well. Okay, well, anyway. Is that better? There we are. Okay, well, so that's pretty much what I'm doing today. And I'm at my half an hour point, so there we go. So yeah, so today I didn't make particularly a lot of meals just because, as I said, this week is full of cooking classes, so I've got lots of food planned to be made this week, so I don't actually need to prep too much of it. So what I have done is made the African stew, so that's perfect for the next couple of days, lunches and stuff. And dinners, obviously, as well. We had leftover ribs that we needed to cook up, so that's what I had done this morning. Just some ribs with some roasted garlic aioli with rosemary garlic and some maple syrup, and put those in the oven, and they're pretty yummy. So that was to get the oven going this morning before I got started making the crab cakes and making the cookies. And yeah, so therefore I kind of just boom, 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 used up the oven to do everything without really affecting me too much, because I'm already in the kitchen prepping for this class, so it was pretty easy to just throw the ribs in the oven while I was finishing prepping, while I was setting up for the class here. And now while I'm in the class, obviously the crab cakes went in first. While the crab cakes were in, I was making the African stew and the oatmeal cookies. So when the crab came out, the oatmeal cookies were ready, and I just tossed them in. And so they'll be out in a few minutes, but while I wait for the oatmeal cookies to be done, I am making my own protein bliss balls, so they're great for breakfast or snacks. And yeah, and then the African stew will stay on the stove a little bit longer, just because it is oxtail in there and we want to slow cook it, but that's fine. While it's in there, I will just be cleaning up. And yeah, so I know I posted about it, but I thought maybe I'd talk about it. I know you're all in here because you're looking for awesome recipes, ways to make cooking easier, less stress, looking for great ideas for what's for dinner without, being stressed out about it all. And that's kind of what I love as well. So that's what I'm here for. But if you are feeling still a lot overwhelmed by it, there's got lots of questions, and you're looking to kind of like make a plan that works with you and your family, or just you, family one, I am available. That is my new service, where I help you get your bearings in the kitchen, kind of like this, where it's all planned out and ready to go, but it's set for you, so personalized, tailored to what you need. So whether it's picky eaters, whether it's a large family, small family, maybe you got diet restrictions, like I have, and you're trying to adapt to all that. Maybe you're just, cooking is just not your thing, and you're just looking for ways to simplify it. I do definitely offer my 1 hour tailored session, or even my 6 weeks. I even have a 6-week program where we're together every week to try to get you into the habit of doing what I do, which is literally, I wake up in the morning, I got a fridge full of food, I know what we're having for dinner, I'm not worried about it all. I might just pull something out of the freezer to make the dinner, things like that. Like you're in the kitchen anyway in the morning, making yourself a cup of tea or water with lemon or coffee or something. So why not kind of do a little bit of planning while you're there? It's like, aha, we're having, chicken tonight. I'm going to pull out the chicken. We're going to be making, I don't even know. So like tacos tonight. So get out the taco seasoning, get it all prepared. Know that's what you're going to do. So literally it's visual and it's right there in front of you, but things like that. So if you're interested in getting more into all that, you can talk with me, and I do have a deal on the one-on-one Get Your Bearings in the Kitchen, 50% off during the holidays. So feel free to message me, get the link, schedule it when you're ready, and come chat with me. Otherwise, that's kind of, I think, it for now. I'll give you a quick look at what we just made after I wash my hands. Cookie dough in your hands takes a bit to get off. So there we go. We've got crab cakes all ready to go. So perfect little muffin crab cakes using the new crab cake, well, not new, but the holiday special. I've got my protein bliss balls all set for my lunch and breakfast, or sorry, my breakfast for this week. We got the oatmeal cookies. 1 second. Coming along, I've got the African stew bubbling away here with the oxtail and potatoes. And then in a little bit, I will add the zucchini, collard greens, so it's all a big one pot wonder, and of course the peanut butter. Kind of give you a quick view of that. Oh, only if we had smell-o-vision. Okay, and there we go. There you. Happy Sunday, everyone. Let me know what you're making this week. And if you have any questions, comments, or, looking to shop, feel free to message me and I'll help you out with any of that. Otherwise, have an awesome Sunday. It's still snowing for me. You can see out there, there's white stuff coming. So have an awesome Sunday, an awesome week, and yeah, take care. Thanks for being here. Bye, everyone.